Another way that we can create Kubernetes objects is using a YAML file. So YAML is a serialization language used to format configuration files. So you can see that it's very simple, and basically it's kind of a key value pairs. So here is the key, this is the value, key value, and then again here you've got key and then value here, and then this is actually an array, so you can have more than one. The same in here, array, right? So when you use dashes in here. So I'm going to explain what all of this means in a second, but basically here I've got the manifest for creating a pod. So here I'm saying API version 1, the kind is pod, and then we have the metadata, so name, hello world. We also assign some labels and more on labels later, and then we have the spec. So for this spec, you can see that, remember I said that a pod is a group of one or more containers. So here, containers, and then we have one container in here called hello world. So the name is hello world. This is the image, and then we have some resources here. So this is really important, and I'm going to cover in detail what this means. And then we have ports. So the container port is 80. Now you can grab this file under the description of this video. And for this course, I'm going to be using VS Code, which is my favorite IDE when it comes for working with Kubernetes. But basically, I've got a couple of plugins which allows me to basically use Kubernetes and work with YAML files. So here, if I go to extensions, so I've got a couple of extensions, but one that I have is Kubernetes. So make sure you install Kubernetes. And then I've got the code formatter as well, and here I've got the indent rainbow. So here you can see that I have this rainbow right here, and this basically allows me to indent my configuration file. And also I do have, what else, I've got the YAML plugin right here. So let me just click on it. So you can see that 5 million downloads, and for Kubernetes 1 million downloads, rainbow almost 1 million. Actually this is for brackets, so the one that allows me to indent things is this one here. So indent rainbow, you can see here, right? So it's quite popular as well. So I'm going to leave also the names for all of these extensions that I have installed. So here, let me just show you that if I delete this, so the cool thing here is that I don't have to basically remember how to write a pod. So let me just collapse that. So I don't have to remember that, right? So I can use the extension to just say pod, and you can see that I do get auto completion there. And then here I can just pretty much say hello dash and then world, move to the image, amigos code / Kubernetes column, and then hello dash and then world, and then move to the port, which is 80. And you can see that was super easy. So make sure to download the Kubernetes plugin for VS Code, and we're going to use it extensively throughout this course. So now that we have this file right here, let's use kubectl to apply this file to create a pod. So here, let me just go back to my terminal. And what I'm going to do is, let me just clear the screen here. And I'm going to type kubectl get pods. You can see that we have one pod, hello world. So this was created using the imperative command. Now I want to delete this pod because, so the name hello world in here is the same, right? So hello world in here. So let me just delete this pod. So delete, or actually kubectl, and then delete, and then pod, hello dash, and then world. And you've seen this command. Cool, so that's gone. If I type kubectl get pods, you can see that no resources found in default namespace. Now let me clear the screen And what I'm going to do is navigate to my desktop. So desktop, and inside I've got code. Inside of code, I also have pods. And basically I've just navigated into this directory here. So if I do ls, you can see that we have pod.yaml, and I can do cat pod.yaml, and you can see that we have the YAML file. Now, how do we create a pod from the configuration file? So with kubectl is as follows: kubectl apply dash and then f and then the name of the file. So in our case, pod.yaml, and it's as simple as that. Enter, and check this out, pod created. Now if I say get pods, you see that we have this pod right here. And if I go to my web browser and if I reload this, you can see that we can't connect, and that's because we're not port forwarding. So let me just say port and then forward. So kubectl port forward and then pod / hello world 8080 280. And it seems that we have a typo, so pods hello world not found. So if I go back to my configuration file, and in here I've misspelled hello world, so here let's just change this to hello and then world, just like that. Now let me just save this. Let's go back and let me clear the screen. And what we're going to do is apply the pod once more. And if I type get pods, we should have 2 pods now. There we go. So hello world or hello word and then hello world. Let's just delete hello word. So kubectl delete pod hello dash and then word. And there we go. So that's gone. Now let's port forward into hello world. So let me just type the exact same command. So here, kubectl port forward pod / hello dash world 8080 280. There we go. Now if I go back to my web browser and if I reload, you can see that it's working again. So there you have it. You now know how to create pods using declarative approach as well as in a declarative way. So this right here, so you saw that we've done it for a pod, but basically this will work throughout every single other resource that Kubernetes has to offer. As I said, you can grab this file right here from the description of this video so that you can follow along and you can apply the pod yourself. This is all for now. Catch me on the next one.